these guys that I was working with, they were killer door-to-door salesmen. They started off doing like insect repellent, selling that door-to-door. I think maybe they did like cable for a little bit, and then they started their own solar company.
Okay.
And these guys were like very successful. One of them I know was Mormon. He had a huge family. He had like 10 kids.
What's his name?
Oh man, what is his name, bro? My Facebook got deleted, so I don't even have him. I don't even have him anymore. But sorry, let me hit this real quick. What was his name? But I don't remember.
They're all Mormon though.
Yeah,
all the door knockers are Mormon.
That's funny. But yeah, he had a big house, dude. I remember he invited everybody over for a fight, and he just had like this massive house. He had like a big like storage, like they store food and stuff in the back.
Yeah.
I think they're supposed to be prepared for like 90 days of and to feed their friends and stuff too. Something like that.
That's wild.
Yeah. Anyways, let's I like to start with everybody, bro. Welcome. So yeah, it is a little bit of a different interview, kind of like outside the range, but I like to show. I know there's a lot of young people that gravitate to my content, so I like to just show like different people's lives and just talk about different paths that they take, where you get where you are. I see you have become pretty successful in sales, so I think that's kind of just interesting to talk about. I've been in sales in the past too, so
yeah, for sure.
Can I kind of connect there? But I like to start with at the very beginning for everybody. So I'm curious myself. When were you born and where were you born?
Born in '97 in Riverside.
Okay.
Yep, but I live in Hemet though.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay. My mom's from Hemet.
Yep.
So that makes you what, like 27?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So did you grow up in Hemet? You grew up in Riverside or what?
I grew up in Hemet. I just was born in Riverside, but yeah, I grew up in Hemet my whole life. And then when I was 18, I was kicked out and doing dumb stuff, and I moved to Arizona for a couple years, and I liked it out there, but it's too damn hot, so I moved back and bounced around, but now I'm back in Hemet right now.
Okay, for sure. Who raised you?
Both my parents, my mom and dad.
What was some of the things that you learned by observing your parents when you were young?
I learned a lot of what I don't want in my personal relationships and marriage and stuff like that. But I also learned, they instilled in me at a very young age that you got to work for whatever you want.
Yeah.
Because I'm super blessed that I didn't grow up struggling, or that we didn't have money or whatnot. But my parents instilled in me at a very young age. I remember being in like 5th, 6th grade, like, oh, I want this game, or I want these shoes or whatever. And they would make me work for it. Okay, go pull some weeds in, or go do this, or go do that. Save your money up, and then you could buy it. So I'm super grateful that I learned that at a very young age, because I've been working since 12 years old. Doing landscaping, whatever it took just to get some money and get what I wanted by working for it.
Your first job was landscaping? How'd you land on that?
It was a family friend. He had a big old property, like maybe 2-3 acres, and he was a family friend, and it took a lot to upkeep. So almost every weekend I would go there Saturday, Sunday, and work. $5 an hour, bro.
That was what, like 6th grade, 7th grade?
Yeah, 6th grade. And bro, I ended up working with him until I got my first real job, which was Stater Brothers. Okay,
for sure. Were you doing anything else, like any other side jobs or anything like that in high school? Or you were just really doing the landscaping thing?
Just the landscaping thing.
Did he pay you more as you got older?
Nah, I think I got an increase to like $6 an hour or something.
That's
$7
crazy.
an hour.
Yeah.
But I'm happy I did it, because it installed a work ethic in me that I carry to this day.
You know what? When I was living in Arizona, not all too long ago, it must have been 2015. That was my minimum wage, was $7 an hour busting tables in Scottsdale. And that's kind of just crazy to think about. And I would stack checks, bro. I would work 2 8-hour shifts back to back. And I would make like, on a good 2-week check, I'd make like $820.
It's crazy.
And I was like, yeah, that's a good, I put in work.
Yeah.
But you know what? They would feed me. They had like a employee cafeteria. Is this pretty nice hotel called the Hotel Valley Ho in Scottsdale. It's like a retro throwback 50s hotel, and they would have some sick like pool parties and shit. It was cool. The people that would attend the hotel were really cool. The work environment was whatever, but it's a restaurant, you know.
Yeah.
But okay, sorry, my bad. I got off track.
You're good.
Okay, so you're growing up. You're doing some lands. What were you into? You started partying in high school or what?
Yeah, because I always say this joke, there ain't much to do in Hemet but drugs and party and
For
stupid
sure.
stuff, as a kid. So I would say probably like, because my parents were super strict on me, so I wasn't able to do anything like my freshman or sophomore year.
Yeah.
But junior year is when I really started like going to like little house parties, or I had a group of friends that we would just drink and just do dumb stuff and hang out. But yeah, there's nothing to do in Hemet besides drink or drugs or something.
Yeah, it's a lot of nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you grow up with siblings?
Yeah, I got two older brothers.
Okay, what'd you learn from your older brothers growing up?
Not much.
Yeah.
My oldest brother grew up with a disability, so he was kind of like a kid in a grown-up person's body. And the middle child, my older brother, he did not mess with me.
He was like, "You're annoying, go away."
Pretty much, yeah. And we didn't really get along growing up, so
Yeah.
I was like a lone wolf,
Yeah.
in that family. So my friends were really my brothers.
Yeah.
Like that's the way I saw it. Like I put a lot of value in my friend groups and friends because I wasn't close with my two older brothers.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, and so what did you learn from your friends growing up?
Honestly, not too much, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I was always a really smart kid, and I was very curious, so I would learn things on my own. Like if I see someone doing something and I was curious about it, then I would learn it myself. And I always felt that, like, I was always the smartest one in my friend group. It might sound pretty arrogant, but I grew up very, like, intelligent. Like, I could have had straight A's in school, but I was super lazy and I didn't do like homework and stuff like that, but I would pass all my tests. So I was like a C or D student because I didn't do no work or classwork, but passed the test. So,
What were you putting your energy towards?
man, that's a good question. I would say just like having fun, like my friends and stuff like that. I wasn't really too focused on anything else besides like, making memories or females too. I put a lot of focus on females.
Yeah.
But growing up, I was always getting money. Like, it wasn't a lot, but I was always working to get money. So that wasn't really a focus because I knew I could get it. But mainly just having fun, bro, and just and establishing like a brotherhood with my friends.
Okay, so you started with drinking like junior year, 15, 16 years old.
Well, I was drinking before that.
Yeah.
Like, I first smoked weed and started drinking when I was like 13, 14 years old.
Okay.
But not really partying. I would have just had to do it, on the low and away from my parents so they didn't know.
Yeah, gotcha. Was it, like, how often were you drinking at that age?
I mean, whenever I could, because it's not as accessible. Whenever
you would just like sneak your parents' liquor?
Yeah, just like, I was a little rebellious because I feel like how strict my parents were on me. So the liquor cabinet, I would sneak a couple shots in or drink a little bit out the bottle. Smoking weed, though, at first, when I first started, it was like once in a while when I was hanging out with some friends. But I would say when I was like almost 15, I was smoking pretty much every day.
By the time you like hit high school?
Yeah.
And then when did the drinking become more excessive?
Honestly, not till recent years.
Okay.
Like when I was 22, because I was a heavy smoker. Like, yeah, we would drink and stuff, but I was mainly a smoker. So I would smoke weed, and I stopped smoking weed like 4 years ago, and that's when I started really drinking a lot, like almost every day.
Okay. So what made you decide to stop smoking weed?
Because I was focused on, I would go through phases of stopping, taking breaks from it.
Yeah.
And I would see my production at work get better because I was in sales. I started sales when I was 18. I was a door-to-door like appointment setter.
Yeah.
And then that was right when I moved to Arizona, and I just did like labor-intensive jobs. But when I came back to California, I only did sales jobs.
Yeah. Was that solar too?
Solar at first,
Yeah.
and then I went into furniture sales when I came out here. And every time I stopped smoking weed, my numbers in sales would get higher. So it just came to a point where I knew that weed was no benefit to my life.
Yeah.
Like I knew that it didn't add anything because the people that I wanted to be like and aspire to be didn't smoke weed.
Yeah.
You know, like I listened to a lot of like Grant Cardone and I read a lot of sales books, and you look at these guys and you look at their habits, none of
Yeah.
them involve smoking weed.
Yeah.
So I knew it was just a habit that I had to kick because it was a roadblock on where I wanted to go to in life. Like it doesn't bring any value to you. You know, and I can make up every excuse in the world like, oh, I have ADHD, it helps me
Right.
calm down. But at the end of the day, ADHD is kind of like my superpower. That's how I look at it now. Like I use it to my advantage, focusing on multiple things at once, not getting tired, being able to use that in my work ethic. And once I cut the excuses and just realized that if I wanted to get to the next level in life, I had to cut out smoking weed. And I finally I did it. I remember the time I did it too. I was smoking with a friend in my garage, and I was like, man, I'm done with this shit. It's my last hit. I took a hit, I passed it to him, and I just stopped. Ever since, cold turkey.
Ooh, how old were you then?
Like 22.
Okay.
Yeah. About to
Okay.
turn 23.
Okay, so you got out of high school and you got right into sales, or when did you first do that?
Yeah, so I started working my real job my senior year at Stater Brothers.
Okay.
And I got fired like 4 months after. And that's where my life went to shit. I got kicked out of the house halfway through high school, halfway through my senior year.
Because you were just getting into trouble, or what?
Because I was smoking weed,
Yeah.
and then I went through a Xan phase where I was taking a bunch of Xans, which is the stupidest shit I ever did.
Yeah.
And
Were you using any other drugs? That was mainly it, or what?
I was drinking lean,
Yeah.
Xans, any pills like codeine pills, perks, like everything that was accessible.
Yeah.
You know, I would just do it all. And especially when I got kicked out, that's when I really started doing
Where'd you
pretty much
go?
everything. Huh?
Where'd you go?
I live with my friend. His name's Joseph Bustos. He's one of my like best friends, and we worked at Stater Brothers together. And I'm all over the place, but we worked at Stater Brothers together. And at that time, my senior year, I really got into photography. So I was doing that like heavy, like every day after school. I was going out to take pictures, and he was my main model. Like he was the one who was like down to shoot every day. So we were hanging out, and we became really good friends. And when I got kicked out, because he knew I lost my job and got kicked out, and I told him, and he was like, bro, you already know you got a place to stay with me. He came and picked me up like a couple hours later after he got off work, and I stayed with him for a couple months. And then it didn't work out there. Too much stress because I wasn't working and stuff like that on him. So I left, and then I was pretty much just couch surfing, bro. Like I went to a few different spots, and then I finally just broke down because I lived in this one house. It was my neighbor, or the neighbor to my best friend's house, because I was staying with him for a couple weeks, and then I lived with him. And his house wasn't dirty, bro, but they just had roaches. And I remember, bro, it's a gross story, but I had a roach crawl in my ear, bro, when I was sleeping.
Crazy.
And I had to go to the hospital for him to take it out. And that's when I pretty much just broke down. And I called my mom, and I was like, can I come back, please? Because during that time I was kicked out, it was like 2-3 months. I wasn't going to school or nothing, so they were about to label me as a dropout. So when I went back to my mom's, I enrolled in school, I graduated and everything. And then that summer, I got kicked out again for dating this girl that my mom didn't like. And then when that happened, that's when I got the sales job for door-to-door sales. And then like before the sales job, this is why sales is super beneficial to everybody. I feel like everyone should work a sales job for at least like a year or two, because before then I was introverted, bro. Like doing this interview, I would have never done it because I was a pothead. I was smoking weed. If I didn't know you, I wasn't talking to you. I wasn't outgoing or nothing. And it, like, I stayed in my circle of friends, and that was it. And when I got this door-to-door job, it forced me to break out of that like introverted mindset.
Yeah.
And I remember like my first day when I was out there knocking doors, bro, I was literally shaking talking to people because I was just, it was out of my comfort zone. But one of my good friends still to this day, he was my manager at the time. He told me that commission sales jobs are the best because you get paid based on how hard you work.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm the hardest worker in the room everywhere I go.
Yeah.
So that like just like blew my mind because I had no idea about commission and how it worked.
Yeah.
And I look at it now and like if you work an hourly job, you get paid the same as the laziest person in the room compared to the hardest working person in the room.
Yeah.
You get paid the same. But in commission, if you're the laziest person in the room, you ain't getting shit.
Yeah.
And if you're the hardest working person in the room, you're gonna have a pretty nice paycheck.
Yeah.
So that's what stuck with me, and he told me that when I was 18, and I knew from that point it was sales. Like I wasn't gonna do anything else but sales. And I really just put my all into it. And when I was working there, I worked there for like, I want to say maybe like 5 months. I learned so much, just how to talk to people, and just how to have that confidence, because I didn't have confidence to talk to people. And it instilled confidence in me because I'm knocking on people's doors. You know, on their property, they have no idea who I am, and it just instilled this confidence in me. Like I'm not scared to talk to anybody or approach anybody, and I carry that with me to this day. But that's how I knew like sales was for me, and that was when I was 18.
Yeah. I think, like I said, I've done door-to-door sales also, and that, like, first impression kind of is everything. Like, if they feel your vibe, that's kind of what, like, if you are coming in there kind of, like, half-assed, you're only going to get the very low-hanging fruit, right? But, okay, cool. So, from when you started getting into sales, decided you want to do sales, how long did it take for you to stop smoking weed, to realize that you need to stop smoking weed?
Well, that was when I was 18, so like 4 years.
Okay.
Because I was always a functioning, like, addict, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Because I'm an addict, bro. That's why I've been sober for 3 years now, because I know if I touch anything, like, I just abuse it.
Yeah.
You know, so it took me like 4 years, and I would always do good. Like, I was the youngest person at that company I had, for 1 month, I had like the most appointments set or something like that, and I was only 18 years old.
You're still talking about the first?
Yeah, the first sales job.
You were only there for like 5 months?
Yeah, 5 months.
Okay. So it seems like you probably got the hang of it pretty quick once you realized, like...
It took me like 2 months, bro. They were about to fire me because I didn't have appointments.
Yeah.
Like, because that's my main job, was to set appointments. And I wasn't getting it because I was still scared. You know, it took me a while to break out of that. But once I figured it out, I just took off.
Yeah.
About like month 3, I took off and really like succeeded well in that job.
Okay. And then so you're there for 5 months, and then what did you go from there?
Well, because I was kicked out, so I was renting rooms. Like, bro, I rented this room from this crackhead, bro. He didn't even own the house. He just knew the people that owned the house, and he knew they were on deployment for like 2 years.
Yeah.
So we were squatting in this house, bro.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. I'm 18. I just need a place to stay. So I'm paying this dude $500 a month, and then the cops show up like 2 months in, 3 months in, and they're like, "You guys got to leave, or you're getting arrested for trespassing."
Damn.
And bro, I packed up my car, and I slept in it for a couple nights, and then my mom's ex-boyfriend, I knew he had a room to rent, that he was renting a room, so I hit him up, and I stayed with him, but he was selling the house. So I only lived with him for a couple months, and then I had to leave, so I booked it to Arizona. That's why I had to leave the sales job, or I would have stayed there.
Okay. And then did you have a job lined up out there, or you had to find one?
my dad's girlfriend lived out there at the time.
Yeah.
And I stayed with her, but she had these rules, like I didn't have to pay rent, but I had to go to school and I had to work. So I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll do it. So I go out there and I get 2 jobs back to back within like the first week I was out there. And then I started going through the school process, but something in my gut was like, this isn't for you. Like, don't do it if you don't want to. Like, if you're not going to put your all into it, don't do it. So I didn't. So like a month in, she kicked me out. And I was renting another room from somebody that I met at one of my jobs.
Yeah.
And I was just hustling, bro. I worked at Target, like unloading trucks, like and stocking the shelves.
Yeah.
And I did that. It was 5 a.m. till like 10 or 12. It just depended. And then I would work at Domino's delivering pizza from 2 or 3 all the way till like midnight or whenever they closed. And I did that for like 4 months, bro. And just, it burnt me out.
Yeah.
So, because I was only getting like an hour, 2 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
So I ended up quitting Domino's, and I was looking for a photography job, and I saw this place that said, now hiring photographers / sales. So like, oh, this is perfect. It was a little furniture, like mom and pop shop. So I would take the pictures, upload it to their website and whatnot. But then I just was working Target and that job for like 8 months.
Was there sales involved in the furniture job?
Yeah, but it was like little bullshit commission. Like if you sold over like $500 like on a sale, you would get like 3%. So it was like an extra couple $100 every 2 weeks.
But it was just on. You were just doing online stuff, or you were
No, it was
in the
store
shop? Oh,
too.
you were there.
Yeah, so people would come in and whatever you sold them, you would get. They called it a little spiff.
Yeah.
So if you, like, there was a couple times where you could rack up a good amount of spiffs and get like an extra $500, but I mean, it's not really much from the amount of work you were putting in.
What'd you do after that?
Then, because those were 2 labor-intensive jobs, because I was selling the furniture, but I was also like, I was the youngest person working there, so they used me as like moving the furniture, and this was heavy-ass furniture, bro. I would move it, load it into people's cars, move it around the showroom, and it was just a lot. It was a lot of strain on myself, so I just started looking. I wanted to do sales again.
Yeah.
So I started looking for jobs that would pay me the same or more of the 2 jobs I was working.
Yeah.
Because I was making maybe like 1,000 to 1,200 every 2 weeks. So, and for like, I'm talking like probably 90 hours work weeks, you know?
Yeah.
And I found this job, and it's crazy how I found it too, bro. I'll say that story, but it's this job called Conn's Home Plus, and they sold furniture, they sold like appliances, electronics, they sold like everything. And I worked there, and that was like my first like hourly plus commission sales job, where I really got the hang of like how to walk people through the sales process, because it was a lot different from door to door.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot more about sales, and the manager I had back then, he was like a mentor, and he told me the books to read. He told me to read Psychology of Selling.
What books did he tell you to read?
Psychology of Selling, and that's probably like the sales Bible, bro. Like, because it doesn't teach you like, it teaches you about the sales process and how to like the psychology behind selling, but it mainly teaches you the psychology to have about yourself, and it teaches you how to write goals, and it teaches you things to do to build your self-esteem. And a lot of sales, I would say like 80% of sales is work on yourself.
Yeah.
And it teaches you how to do all the work on yourself, so that way it'll translate in your sales process and your sales numbers and stuff. And that book just, man, it's like the sales Bible, bro. Like, people should read it even if they aren't in sales, because it teaches you a lot about personal development and writing goals down, because there's a science behind writing goals down. Like, a lot of people just write goals down like, oh, I want this or I want that. But there's a science to writing goals down to help it come true. And the book walks you through it and how to do it. And that really helped me excel and get to the next level in sales for sure.
You think like when you get information like that, it's good to just kind of like blindly do it, not think about it too hard, because I feel like a lot of people might dwell on that, like, oh, let me do it this way, and you know what I mean?
Bro, 100%. Like when you're first starting out in something, or just in life, like whatever you want to do, bro, you should find the person who's doing it the best and ask them what they're doing, how they're doing it, and copy it to a fucking T, bro.
Yeah.
Because there's this saying in sales where it says, don't reinvent the wheel. And to explain that, so like the wheel, it's already been invented, it's already been pretty much perfected. So why are you gonna try and come in, make the wheel like a triangle shape or try to make it better? It's already perfect.
Yeah.
So don't reinvent the wheel, copy and paste it in your own way to make it you.
Yeah.
And if like that's the secret. Like you don't have to like do anything special. Whatever field or whatever job that you're doing, who's doing it the best, ask them how they're doing it and what they're doing, copy and paste in your own way. And that's just gonna take you to the next level.
For sure. So you're selling at cons. You're still in Arizona. What happens next?
So I worked there for a good while, and I ended up having to leave because so there was 3 department managers, one for furniture, electronics, and appliances, right? So those should be the top 3 in the store. There was 1 month where I beat one of the managers, and after that, I don't know what I did. I was 19, super young, but he had it out for me.
Yeah.
So he was watching my every move, and I fucked up. I'm not gonna sit here and blame it on somebody else, but there was this lady who wanted to purchase like a fridge or something stupid, and the store was doing really bad. Like we didn't have no sales for the day, and I asked my manager, like, this lady can't come in. Like, can I just sign the contract for her like over FaceTime or something? And he was like, fuck it, run it. So I do that. And that one manager who had it out for me is walking behind my little cubicle as I'm on FaceTime signing the contract. And he's like, are you signing a contract for a customer? And I just looked at him and was like, no. And then he kept about his business. But after that, HR was in the building, investigating me, looking at all my sales. And I kind of just jumped ship. And then after that, I moved back to California. And that was like middle of 2018.
You had somewhere to stay out here?
I moved back in with my mom. Yeah, she was strict on me though. She made me sign a contract and everything.
Crazy. Okay, and you were 19 at that time?
Yeah.
Okay, and you immediately was like, I need to find a sales job, or what?
Well, yeah, I went back to the same company that I first started, door to doors. Yeah, the solar, and I did good. I like popped off 3 sales my first month.
And you're closing now?
I had someone closing for me because I was like in training. So I had like three deals right off the bat. But I don't know, I just didn't really, I guess, understand the solar game back at that time. So I got out of it, and then I went to a home improvement company where we sold home improvement, like better attic installation.
Was that door to door?
No, so they had a whole different business plan where they would set up these dinner presentations in different cities, like up north in Nevada and Arizona. So we were traveling every week. They would set up the dinner presentations, and then people who come to the dinners would set up appointments for that week. So they'd do the presentations like Monday and Tuesday, and we were running appointments Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And bro, I just completely flopped. Like, that was the brokest I've ever been in my life, where they're about to repo my car. My phone was about to get shut off because I wasn't making no money. But I had so much belief in what we were doing, and then the people that we were, that I was like looking up to, because these dudes were millionaires. Like, I wanted to be as close to them as possible. But I just kept coming back for like 3 months. But I'm like dead broke. And I just keep trying. And then like the last week that I could survive, because like I'm talking, these guys were advancing me money, like helping me just like stay afloat.
Yeah.
just to get out there the next week and try and get some sales. But the last week, man, I had like 3 deals and they all canceled. So I was like, man, this is like God or the universe telling me like I got to do something else. So that's when I went into the furniture sales because it was hourly plus commission.
Was that like a major store or?
Huh?
Was that like a
Ashley's
chain store?
Furniture.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went and did that, and then it was hourly plus commission,
Yeah.
right? And then how did you do there?
I did really good, bro. Like Ashley's really helped me like kickstart my life.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, the job before, the amount of stuff that I learned from that job is priceless. Because just like I told you, that manager from Cons, he put me onto the sales book. These guys put me onto like a whole different level.
Right.
Like elevated my mindset, elevated my way of thinking. They gave me better books to read. They put me onto Grant Cardone.
So, before that, were you still like reading books and?
Yeah, I've read a bunch of sales books. Zig Ziglar.
Yeah.
Brian
Legend.
Tracy.
Yeah.
Grant Cardone. Sell or Be Sold.
Yeah.
Just
Be obsessed or be average.
Yeah, exactly. And
All the Grant Cardone books.
yeah, Grant Cardone, dude, he's next level. But so I took that with me into Ashley's, and my confidence was like on 1,000 coming in there. So like I already knew I was gonna kill it. I already had high hopes. I was working in the #1 store in all of Ashley's in Colton. It's their biggest store, and it produces the most volume. It has like, I think they had like 20 like $1 million writers that would like sell $1 million worth of furniture in a year. And it was like 70 salespeople.
Wow.
And I already knew that I was gonna be like #1. That was my thought.
Yeah.
You know, so I started off slow because I was just getting the hang of things, and I came in a little bit too cocky, I would say, because I was a little cocky.
And how old are you at this time?
I had just turned 20. Yeah, just turned 20. No, 21. I had just turned 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's it called? So it took me like, I would say 2 months before I got the hang of it, and then I just took off. Like, I wasn't #1, but I was top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
And doing really well. And then like 6-7 months, I got asked to be put in this like manager in training. So basically to become a sales manager, which was crazy because I was like, damn, okay, you know, fuck it, let's do it. But that kind of put my cockiness back up. So after I went through that training, I came back with a big old head, thinking like, okay, you know, I'm gonna be a manager. I don't really have to sell, whatever. And then my sales really took a dive, and that's when I didn't get promoted. Like the other 2 people that I went in the training with, they ended up getting promoted, and I didn't. So then I just got pissed off, and then I started to do better, and then I got injured. I broke my ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously I can't be walking the sales floor with a broken ankle. So I was out for like 2 months, and then I came back and started killing it again. And then COVID happened. So this is like 2019, like the end of 2019. I came back, I started killing it, and then 2020 I was killing it. I would say 2020 is my best year personally, because after COVID they let us go back to work. Maybe like, I would say like April or May. And I went back to work, and bro, we were killing it because everyone was buying furniture. So I was killing it. And then November of 2020, I finally got promoted to manager on my birthday too, which was crazy. So yeah, I got promoted to manager, and I was the youngest sales manager in the company at the time. I just turned 22, so that was a pretty big accomplishment for me.
Was that a pay bump?
Huh?
You got paid more for that position?
At the time, yes, because of the bonuses, but like I think that year just in sales, I made like 50 to 60 thousand. And
as a sales manager before?
Before.
Yeah.
And the sales manager, the base salary was like 65,000 or 60,000 or something, but you got paid bonuses on how well your store did.
Yeah.
And I was in a store that bonused every month, so I made six figures in 2021.
Nice. Okay, and then how long did you stay there?
Another, altogether, it was like almost 5 years. So I think I left in 2022.
Was that because like the pay was going down and you wanted something more, or what?
Nah, as a manager, bro, because I had worked my way up in the manager to where I got promoted to the number 3 store in the company. I was crushing it there. I was doing shit that the store manager should have been doing.
Right.
Like in 2022, every store, every furniture industry, like, was going down the drain because everyone bought all their furniture in COVID, so they don't need it now.
Yeah.
So our store was one of the only stores that was like green, and because we got a bunch of categories that we got measured on, and we were like one of the top stores. And I'm gonna say it because it's true, like because of me, because I was implementing training. Like it was a team of 40 salespeople. I was training them every day, voluntarily. You know, you guys want to come in and get some extra training? Come in at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. or whatever, like an hour before the store opens, so that we can train and get better as a team. And
it makes a big difference daily.
Yeah, dude. Like when your salespeople see how much you care about them and invest in them, they'll fight for you and they'll do a lot for you. And I was aiming for a store manager spot because that's the next step, and a position opened up. I was the clear choice, bro. Like all of my friends, all the other sales managers, they knew, they were like, oh, it's gonna be you, like there's nobody else.
Yeah.
And then I ended up not getting the job, and that just kind of pissed me off.
Yeah.
Rubbed me the wrong way because I felt like it was all politics.
Yeah.
Like who could kiss ass the best. That wasn't me. So I kind of started slacking off, not putting as much time, not doing the trainings as much, because I'm like, they don't value me here. So then it was like 2 months of that, and I was just like, it's not fair. It's not fair to like my salespeople or the company. So I was like, it's time to go. And it's crazy because I had a pretty good salary set that was coming in. Like I was pretty good. And I didn't know where else to go where I was going to be able to make that much money.
Yeah.
And this one customer came in, she owned her own business, and then she was recruiting me. She was like, oh, I want you to come work for me, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, well, how much to pay? She goes, how much do you make here? And I told her, and she's like, I'll match it. You know, I was like, all right, well, I'll talk to you about it. And then I interviewed with her, and it was something new, and it was business to business sales. So I was like, I'll try it out. And I went there, and it was good and bad, because it was good because it was able to free me from Ashley's, because when you're a manager, bro, you don't take vacations. You work every holiday. You're the first one there, sometimes the last one to leave. You are like a slave, bro.
Yeah.
So it freed me from that, you know, but it also, like, it wasn't a good company. She didn't come through on her promises. Like my first month there, I closed like 5 deals for her, and like I didn't get any of the promises that were guaranteed. So I worked there.
What were you selling?
It was staffing. So like a staffing agency, like if you're looking for a job, you go into a staffing agency and you put in an application, they look for jobs for you.
Yeah.
And so I was going to businesses asking them, oh, who's your staffing provider, blah, blah, blah. This is us, this is what we do. And selling to like, you know, VPs of companies and stuff like that. And like I said, I closed like 5 deals. You guys probably see the trucks, Biaggi Bros. It's like a green truck, but they're like one of the largest beer distributors in Southern California, and I closed them, and that's like a huge account.
Yeah.
And you know, they fucked up the orders, because an order is like you ordering people, like, oh, I need 10 forklift drivers on this day, and I need 5 general labor people, and it all got fucked up. So I just was like, it's time to go. And then I went back into furniture sales at Mathis Brothers, or it's called Mathis Home now, over there in Ontario. And I was fucking killing it over there.
Yeah.
I came in fucking killing it, you know, and I was like number 4 out of 100 salespeople.
Yeah.
And I was killing it, bro. It was really good money too. I was on track to make like 150 grand.
Nice.
But I got fired.
How'd that happen?
Just some stupid stuff. They're super strict right there. They have HR like in the same building on the 3rd floor. And when you're the top salesperson, you got a lot of people coming for you just because like they think you're cheating. Like I got investigated for like a whole month, bro, because they accused me of like stealing sales. They accused me of like harassing people and whatnot. So I was just being watched like a hawk. And it's so stupid, bro. There was this one girl, she was doing handstands in the break room on a chair. Stupid shit. Like dumbass bitch, like doing handstands on a chair. And I recorded it and put it on my Instagram. And somehow, some way she found out, took me to HR. I told them like, nah, I didn't take no video. They had a camera in the break room, and they saw me take it. So
Did
I
the girl doing the handstand get fired?
No, which is stupid. Like that's a liability, you know. Like as a company, you should fire that bitch. Like
Yeah, that's funny.
But
I mean, it's not really funny, but
it is funny because like God works in mysterious ways. That's one thing that helped me in my success too, is having a lot of faith. Because for years I've always wanted to be in real estate, because that's just how I saw myself, being a real estate agent, and I knew I'd kill it. So when I got fired, I started diving into real estate.
yeah.
And
Did
then
you have money saved at that point? Like, were you investing at all?
No,
or?
I had a little bit because there's periods and times where I went broke.
Yeah.
Like in 2021, when I was killing it as a manager, bro, I had 2 DUIs back to back.
That can be expensive.
Yeah. And they were, thank God, one was in California, one was in Arizona, so I only got charged as one-time offense. But it cost a lot of money, bro, and I totaled my brand new Mercedes that I just got. You know, lawyers were expensive, so I racked up a lot of debt because my life pretty much just went to shit right there. And that was like a slap in the face. That's why I've been sober for 3 years, because of that accident, you know?
Yeah, so you said that you quit smoking weed at 22. Where were you selling at that point?
Ashley's.
Ashley's.
That was
okay.
during COVID. Like I quit during.
And you were a sales manager yet or no?
No.
Okay. And
That's why I feel like helped me.
But then
get
you
there.
started drinking a lot. Like what,
Like a
every day
fish.
after work or what?
Sometimes during work, after work, any day I was off, I was going out.
And you were still top 10 salesman, still got the sales manager?
Yeah.
Even
because
while,
drinking didn't affect me. Weed
Right.
affected me because, like, I'll go into slump mode, you know, where I just wouldn't care. And drinking didn't do that for me because, like, I would go out to lunch, drink a couple shots, come back and sell like $10,000 worth of furniture.
Were you doing anything else or just alcohol at that time?
Just alcohol. Yeah,
Okay.
I quit all the other bullshit, like, out of high school.
When you went to Arizona, probably.
Yeah. But I did go through like a big acid phase and mushroom phase,
Yeah.
which helped me a lot, honestly. As weird as it sounds, like it elevated my mindset to a whole nother level.
You think that helped you get sober?
Not really, because that was back when I was like 18, 19. So like I was still drinking and smoking during
What
that
way
time.
did it help you mentally?
Because when you take acid, your way of thinking just becomes unlimited. So it helped me get over like childhood traumas, like self-esteem. It helped me get over all like the negative stuff that I had built up throughout my whole life. And then it helped me get a vision for my life, because the way you think on acid is like anything's possible. Everything makes sense. Everything's possible. So my goal with acid was to like translate that into like real life, because anything is possible because it's the power of the mind. So it helped me create a vision. Like I knew where my destination was. I just didn't know how I was going to get there, but I could vision it of where I was going to be in life and how my lifestyle was going to be and where I was going to end up at, you know? So that it helped me with my vision. It helped me with my confidence. It helped me get rid of like my old ways of thinking, and it helped me have a whole different perspective about life, you know, and like what life's really about. And if I didn't do that, bro, like, I don't know if I'd have the same mindset.
Okay. So how old were you when you got fired from Mathis?
Shit, that was that was in 2023. So I was 25.
Okay.
Turning 26 that year.
Okay. So basically, I'm guessing from age 22 to 25, that's when you got two DUIs.
In when I was 22,
Okay.
because I stopped drinking in 2021.
Got it.
Yeah. That's like June 16th, 2021 and September 16th, 2021. Literally 3 months apart to the exact date. It's crazy.
And the first one was in Arizona?
First one was out here in Cali.
First one was out here. What was the situation, like a party or?
No, I was just with some friends and we were drinking by the pool.
Yeah.
And one of our friends was hungry, so at my apartment, like, I wasn't even supposed to drive. One of my friends was gonna drive, but I was like, no, it's like, save your parking spot, because it was hard to find parking in my apartment complex at the time. And I was like, we'll just take my car. So I'm driving, and I'm on the highway, carpool lane, and my friends were in the back drinking. So what happened was, I was in the carpool lane, there's a highway patrol right here. So highway patrol is doing like 80, 85. I'm doing like 80, 85. So we're like going the same speed.
Yeah.
And I gradually, like, I'm not talking like I zoomed past him, but I gradually like broke away from him.
Yeah.
And he got behind me and pulled me over.
Yeah.
Said I was speeding. But what I think happened is he saw one of my friends drinking in the back.
Yeah.
Because he was in like an SUV and I was in a lower Mercedes in a fishbowl, no tint or nothing.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it happened. But because I wasn't, like, I didn't zoom past him or nothing, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, he pulled me over. Like, I felt like I passed the sobriety test, and then I was dumb as hell because he was like, oh, you want to do the breathalyzer? I was like, yeah, I'm going to fucking pass that shit, you know? Like, I was super confident. Bro, I blew like a .14, which is like almost double the legal limit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the first one. And then the second one, it was bad. I went out to Arizona, and one of my friends hit me up and was like, oh, let's go out to Scottsdale. And my friend is a promoter. He could get us a table for free. So I was like, all right, bet. What's crazy about that night is my dad told me like 3 times before I left, just Uber, just Uber, just Uber. Because I had already gotten the first DUI.
Yeah.
And I was like, this was the plan. Like, I was going to stay the night wherever I was going, like my friend's house. So I was like, no, I'm just going to stay the night. And he kept telling me, just Uber. I said, Dad, I'm going to stay the night. Like, I'm fine. So we get to the club. In Arizona, their bottle service is weird. So they keep a lock on the bottle, and the managers had to come out and pour out the drinks. So I'm seeing that because I'm used to bottle service out here. You could hold the bottle, you could take shots, whatever. Whenever the manager came and poured drinks out, I'm taking like 2 or 3 at a time and just chugging them. And during that time, I was fucking with some Coke too. So I didn't have any out there. So I was drinking as if like I had some Coke to like sober me up. So I ended up getting like way too drunk. I never acted obnoxious when I was drunk or nothing. Like, I never started no fights or nothing. I was just having fun, chilling. But one of the security guards saw that I was too drunk, so he kicked me out. And my friend was like, oh, just I'll get you an Uber back to the place. Got me an Uber back to the place. The last thing I remember is getting in the Uber. I guess I went to the place, I grabbed my keys because my keys were there, and I left. And the next thing I remember is the cops pulling me out of my car because I had crashed into this like dirt mound. And yeah, bro, it was like that in itself was a blessing from God.
Yeah.
Because if I don't hit this dirt mound, like if this dirt mound isn't there and it's just flat dirt, I'm going straight off over a cliff, like 30 feet.
Mm-hmm.
If I veer to the left, there's a lake over here. So like either one, I'm probably either dead or severely hurt.
Yeah.
And I hit this dirt mound, bro. So I took that as just like a slap in the face from God, like, you need to quit this shit. So that's what I stopped.
You stopped immediately after that?
Didn't drink. I haven't drank a single drop since. Because it's just like, it's not worth my life or me taking someone's life.
For sure.
You know, and that's what I try and like teach everybody. Like, looking back, like, alcohol is the same thing as weed. It has no benefit to anybody's life. It doesn't help you in any way. It's just, people drink to cover up something. You know what I'm saying? Like, people like drinking because it brings something out of them that they aren't sober. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I've learned over the years, is that people don't like themselves sober, so they drink something to help themselves become something that they want to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it does no beneficial things for your life. Like, in my opinion, no one should drink. Not even like one or two, because it doesn't help you in any way. You're literally damaging your insides. You're killing yourself from the inside.
Not good for you.
At all. Like, you're drinking alcohol. That's like drinking some hand sanitizer. It kills germs. It's killing everything in your body.
Yeah.
So that's what I learned over the years, and I just realized, like, no one should be drinking. Like, it shouldn't be such a popular thing.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that I stopped. And I always say that crash was like the best thing to happen for me, but in the worst way to happen. You know, because we don't need substance. Like, you look at people, like back in the day before anything, they didn't need no substances to be able to function and survive and live. Why do we need substances?
Yeah. Because we're weak.
Exactly. And I wouldn't even say because we're weak. It's just because what's been shown to us.
Yeah, normalized.
Yeah, what we've been programmed since we're little, bro. Like, I remember, like, this is like a big thing because I have a daughter coming here pretty soon, and
Congrats.
I don't want to expose her to anybody drinking, because I don't want her to see that and be like, oh, that's normal.
Right.
Because it's not normal.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up seeing my parents drink with their friends, like, oh, that's normal. Like, that's what you do when you're older. It's not. It's not normal. We shouldn't be doing that when we're older. You know, so I feel like instilling that at a young age to all kids, like, you don't need this shit because it doesn't help you get anywhere in life.
Yeah.
It just slows you down.
Yeah.
You know, because I look at people who are successful at a young age, like early 30s, and, you know, they're millionaires or they have $1 million house, nice car, whatever. And I always ask them, like, what was it like for you growing up? Oh, I didn't drink, or I didn't smoke, I didn't do nothing. Like, I just, you know, was a kid.
Yeah.
Kids shouldn't be drinking or smoking at fucking 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
And I think about that now, and it's just like, that's the reason why at 30, 35 years old, they have all this abundance of everything, because they didn't have to shave anything off. Like me, I felt like when I stopped drinking was day one for me. Like, I was a child, a newborn child, because now that I shaved everything off, no substances, I still drink caffeine, like that's the only substance. But once I shaved off all these substances, now I'm able to really focus on myself and grow as an individual.
Yeah.
And every year, the blessings have just gotten bigger and bigger. Where if you cut all that shit out at age 18 and you're starting fresh from there, you're going to be fucking way ahead in life over a lot of people that are drinking and everything like that. Because it's like walking through mud, like deep mud. Walking through mud, it's only going to get you to your destination slower. Where there's a clear path right here where you can get there a lot faster. But instead, with the drinking, the drugs, the substance abuse, we're going to walk through this mud to get where we're going. And that's what slows everybody down. So if you're able to cut that shit out early, you're going to be on that clear path of just getting to where you're going faster.
So you mentioned you have a baby coming soon. You have another one?
I call her mine, but it's my fiance's daughter.
Okay, gotcha.
It's hers, but she's basically mine too. But
Okay.
I got my own coming January 30th.
How long have you been with your fiance?
A year.
Okay.
hmm
Congrats.
Thank you, bro.
You guys had a date?
A date?
Yeah, a wedding date.
Not yet. I'm thinking because I want to get married on the beach. So like January or summertime 2025 or 2026.
For sure.
Yeah.
And when's the baby coming?
This month, couple weeks,
Wow.
January 30th.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
You believe in God?
Yep.
What? Why? Why do you believe in God?
I didn't used to believe in anything, bro.
Yeah.
'Cause I
You
grew up
weren't
in-
raised in the church?
I was Catholic.
Okay.
And that's what turned me away
Yeah.
because, like, my dad was the main one, and nothing against my dad. It's just he grew up how he grew up, so he raised us how he was raised. But seeing how like angry he was growing up, how mean he was and grumpy and just not a nice guy to be around,
Yeah.
that was my idea of like what a godly man is.
Right. Father.
And I was
Father.
like, yeah, and I'm like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
And that's another way acid helped me, bro, because acid exposed like there's a higher power.
Mm-hmm.
It helped me understand that there's a higher power. There has to be. And I used to think God was the universe. And I went through like a hippie phase, bro. I always laugh at it because like then I went to think that the sun, the actual sun, was God.
Mm-hmm.
And I would literally pray to the sun, bro. Look straight at the sun like a fucking hippie and like pray, bro. It was nuts. But
How old were you then?
18, 19. It was when I
Yeah.
was taking all the acid
Right.
and shrooms. But then once I understood about Jesus
Mm-hmm.
and like learned more about Christianity.
How did that happen for you?
Ashley's. So it's God worked, bro. Like I went through my whole life story when I was on acid one time, and you just like see how the puzzle pieces connect and how what I thought was the universe back then connects all those pieces together to get you where you're going. So get this, I'm in training for Ashley's, and there's this guy sitting straight across from me like you, and we're working at the same store, right? Because they had people from all stores of Ashley's come and train at this place. And we did a little like icebreaker, like, oh, who are you? What do you like to do? Blah, blah, blah. It gets to this guy. He says, oh, I'm working here in Colton. And I'm really involved in the church. And my first thought, because I'm still against the church. I consider myself spiritual, but I'm against the church.
Yeah.
I'm like, this fucking joker. Look at this guy, fucking Bible thumper, like I'm just talking shit in my head. But that ends up being the guy who gets me to go to church because there was a few other guys that went to the same church. They like all like brought each other to that same Ashley's. And I'm debating with this one dude for like 3-4 hours, bro, of like, how could you believe a Bible when it's been blah, 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 passed down? And like, we're just going back and forth. But he stays strong in what he believes. So at the time, I wasn't ever closed-minded. I was always open-minded to learn new things. So when he asked me to go, I was like, fuck it, I'll go. And bro, when I went, I remember the first time I went by myself. I broke down in tears for like 30 minutes, bro, because just feeling like love that I've never felt before.
Yeah.
And that's a love that can only come from God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
So that started it. I started learning more about it. And then I made the wrong decision to get like involved with these people who weren't really like about God. They were about themselves. Like it was like a battle of like, oh, I know more about God than you, and that pushed me away. So I stopped going for a while, bro. But I always still had that belief. Like now I knew it's God and I knew it was Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So at the same Ashley's, there was this cafe lady who hated me at first. She was some Romanian lady, and she did not like me. But once she found out I got baptized, she was the nicest person ever, and we just got really close, me and her, the couple years that I worked at that store.
Yeah.
And we kept that same relationship. Like we would always text, we would always catch up, and after my DUI stuff, so at the end of 2021, beginning of 2022, I was at the lowest point of my life, bro.
Were you sober when you went to church? When you kind of okay?
Yeah, like I stopped smoking weed for a while, but I was still drinking and stuff like that. But at that time when I became sober, this is what people need to understand when you stop drinking. It's the hardest shit ever, because now all those emotions that you're suppressing come to the surface. Yeah. And now you got to deal with them in a sober mind. Yeah. You know, because I was never the type to like say like, oh, I'm going to go drink because I'm depressed or I'm sad or this or that. But subconsciously, when you're drunk, you're not thinking about all your other shit. Right. So subconsciously, you're drawn to drinking or any type of substance because it washes away all the bullshit. Yeah. So that's what I figured out when I became sober, because all these emotions came. But anyways, during that time, I was at my lowest point, bro. I was working at a new store. I was living in a new place, new apartment. I didn't have no friends. I didn't have nobody. Yeah. I was living in West Covina, and I would work, come home. And the girl I was seeing at the time, we had just broken up. So literally, like, my lowest, darkest point, and I was going to take my life, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, I was sitting on the edge of my bed with a bottle full of pills. I was just going to take them and just be done. I had a date set and everything. I was about to do it. And that lady that I mentioned from the cafe, we haven't spoken in like months. And she texted me out of nowhere. She says, hey, buddy, hope you're doing good. Remember, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. She sent me a Bible verse. Mm-hmm. And I remember, bro, like, it felt like a weight just got lifted off my body. And I just fell out, started crying. And that's when I started going back to church. And then I went to a better church where the people were a lot more friendly. And they actually taught you about, like, the Bible. It was like a Bible study pretty much. And I went there for a while. I got rebaptized with them. And then, ever since, bro, like...
How old were you at that point?
It was 2022. So I was like 24. 23, 24. Okay. And, man, like, learning more about Jesus, you learn that it's not like... It ain't about church. Like, I haven't been to church in some months, but I still have that relationship because God, like... He's always there. It's not like you have to like be this perfect person to be able to have that relationship with God. That's like trying to get clean before you go into a shower. You know what I mean? Like, you come to Christ and you come to God as you are. Yeah. And he's the one who purifies your heart, because there's a Bible verse that says, seek the kingdom of heaven and you will have all the desires of your heart. Right? But what happens is, if you seek the kingdom of heaven, the desires of your heart change. You won't have the same desires to, get high or go fuck all these women or, go like do whatever you were doing. Like, you're going to be more focused on building that relationship with God. Right. And the key is that, like, it's not about church. It's not about like being this perfect person, because the only perfect person to exist is Jesus. And we're never going to be like Jesus. The point for us is to accept that Jesus forgives us and just try to live a better life. Like, just be a better person. That's really all it is. It's just, that's the point in this whole Christianity, is being a better person. Yeah. That's it. Like, become a better person within yourself. And you do that by learning how Jesus Christ lived his life. Right. And try to be like that as much as possible. Like, don't be judging people. Don't, like, be greedy. Don't screw anybody over. Like, just live a good, clean life, and you'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like, even if you don't believe in that, that's fine. It's just, like, just be a good person, bro. Like, that's the only reason why I gravitate to Christianity, because there's no rules I have to follow. Like, in the Catholic Church, you got all these rules. In Mormon, you have all these rules. In Muslim, you have all these rules. In Hindu, there's all these rules that you got to follow. And I could be wrong, but that's what I'm assuming, because that's just what I've seen. It's just like, oh, you have to do this, this, and this. Right. And Jesus is the only one where it's like, you don't have to do nothing. Just come to me. You know what I mean? So it's just like, that's why I really gravitate to it a lot, and that's what I believe in.
For sure. Makes sense. Okay, so you got fired from Mathis. You're 25.
Yeah.
Where do you go from there?
So I took a couple months off because I had a little bit of money.
And what were you doing?
Just living life.
Yeah.
You know, like I went to Havasu. I was going to the beach a lot, just enjoying my time off, you know?
Yeah.
Because I was working like a dog, bro. Like,
yeah. You're
80,
like, I
90 hours
deserve a
week.
break.
Yeah.
So.
And I started looking into real estate, but then I found out how much money people in solar made. So I was like, solar's the move. So I started doing solar.
What do you mean you started doing solar?
Like I jumped back into
Sales?
selling solar. And I got onboarded with this company, but the guy, he was a joker. Like, he gets you all hyped up on his dream, shows you pay stubs, like 50 grand. I'm like, damn. But then when I onboarded to his team, I got ghosted for like 2 weeks. So I ended up going to Sunrun, and bro, their training programs, everything they have in place is just unmatched.
Okay.
You know, they taught me more than anybody, you know. And just the people I was surrounded by. Like, we had a dude in the office who made like $1.5 million.
Wow.
Like, all the leaders in the office that I was working at, they're all millionaires. They've all are super successful people. They're all good people. They're like good, like, men, wives, kids, houses. They're not like grimy or greedy or like scamming people. Like, they're good people.
Yeah.
And like, I look at them as my mentors now. Now I've been there for a year.
Yeah.
But bro, fucking solar was tough at first because it's all commission.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm gonna just do it. I had a little bit of money saved up, but I didn't get paid off of a solar deal for 5 months, bro.
Wow.
So from, I think it was August or September 1st is when I started. I didn't really start till like middle of September. I didn't get paid until February of the next year. Bro.
Were you freaking out? Like,
I had faith because that's when I was like super like heavy on my faith in God and just in Jesus and believing, you know, and like knowing that it was all going to work out, like I'm in the right spot, because he would always show me signs like, you're in the right spot, just be patient. And boom, I got paid like $27,000 in like one check. Crazy.
Is that one sale?
No, I had like 5 installs in a matter of like 2-3 weeks.
And it took you like those 5 months to get there?
Honestly, it's kind of hard to explain because solar, like, you sell the deal, but it takes a while for it to get installed because it has to go through all these steps and processes.
Yeah.
And like, I had a deal that I sold in October that took till February to get installed.
And that's when you get paid out?
Yeah. And then I had a deal that I sold, I think it was on the day of the Super Bowl, and get installed in like a week. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then I just had a bunch of deals, and it all just landed within that week.
Yeah.
And I think I made like 40 grand altogether in that month.
Nice. So you've been with that company for a year now?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask how much you made with the company?
I think like 280.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's killer. Is it the same kind of like business model that we were talking about earlier? You have like openers and closers?
No, you self-gen, you close it, you do everything.
You okay, cool. And you're doing door to door still?
Yeah. So you do door to door. I don't have like, it's good and bad because I'm 1099. So what that means is like, I'm a contractor basically.
Yeah.
I don't have a schedule to follow. No one's telling me like, oh, go work here.
Yeah. And you set your own appointments at the time that's right for you.
I do everything on my own. So it's good and bad because I made 270, 280, but I didn't work 6 months of the year.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, so if I would have worked those 6 months, I'm making over 500 for sure. You know, and that's my goal for this year, is just to work and create like a disciplined schedule for myself. Because I already had the skill set, because everything that I've been through, you know, these past 6-7 years, built me the skill set. I had the right people in my life. I had the right people now, the right mentors and the people to look up to. It just takes me now. And like, not working for 6 months, I'm mad at myself, but I'm also super grateful at the same time because
You didn't work for 6 months straight?
no, it's just like you added up after I got the big old check, I didn't work for like 2 months, like February and March. Like I didn't work, bro. I didn't close a deal for like 3 months or something like that. It was crazy. But then it's just like you get some big checks, you take some time off. You get some big checks, you take some time off instead of like consistently, you know, and I would have big checks every month. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's the goal for this year.
You have like a 401k or investment account or anything?
No 401ks. Investing, I haven't looked into too much investments because I accumulated a lot of debt. So this past year I just paid off a lot of debt. Yeah. And then I lived a pretty good life this past year, took some vacations, spoiled my girlfriend, you know, stuff like that.
You have money set aside for taxes?
Yeah, I have a good amount. But my investments this year are definitely going to be, I want to invest in like an Airbnb. Yeah. Or I want to invest in something that is going to bring cash flow. Yeah. Because I look at this past year and I was chasing these deals all year. Whereas cash flow is something that you sell one time or you invest in one time that brings you cash flow. Yeah. Right? So you don't have to go chasing. So my goal right now is to set up 2 to 3 streams of some cash flow. Like I'm going to rent out my car right now because I just have 2 cars. So I'm going to rent out my Tesla. It's a little cash flow, but some cash flow is better than none.
Use Turo?
Yeah. Yeah. So use Turo, get some cash flow going. That's where my investments are going to go into. And then whatever I have left over, I mean, any like index fund, those are the go-tos for me, honestly, because I don't know too much about the stock market. Yeah. So I have this app called Babbel. I think it's called Babbel, where it invests the money for you. You just put it in there, and it gives you like a 5% return on it, like every month or something like that. With stuff like that, I haven't got too much into the like 401ks and investing that way because my main focus on what's going to bring me cash flow monthly. Yeah. You know, so like Airbnb. I don't think rentals right now because I'm just focused on like, you could do an Airbnb without even owning the place.
That's true.
So that's what I'm more focused on, is getting something like that going.
Okay. Yeah. So you're interested in like lease Airbnbs?
Yeah. It's like rental arbitrage or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. They try to, that's kind of hard. Like people don't like you doing that. The apartments don't like you doing it, but it's possible. I know you can make money on that for sure. That's kind of like the next thing you're looking into getting into?
Yeah, that's going to be my next investment for sure. Right now, I've just been holding on to a lot of chips just because the baby's coming soon.
For sure.
So, got to stack it up and just, my plan is to take like a few weeks off, maybe a month off. Yeah. When the baby's here, just spend some time and stuff. But after that, it's just be grinding.
Does your fiance work?
Right now, she knows, but she's a personal trainer. Okay, cool. So, right now, she's getting some time off until she's clear to go back to work.
Yeah, for sure. Super excited, bro. Yeah. What are you looking forward to in the future?
Honestly, bro, just my family and growing my family. And
you want more kids?
Yeah. I want like a basketball team, bro.
Me too, little clan.
Yep. That's what I'm most excited for because like I have this delusion, I guess you could call it delusion, but it's like a confidence that I know like what my lifestyle is going to be like. Like I know like I'm going to be like able to retire at 35. Like I already had that set in stone, like, and the path that I'm on right now, I'm on that path. So I'm not really excited about that because I already know what's coming. You know, like I said, you have to have this delusion. I read in this book with Russ, it's like all in your head or something like that, but he has this part where it's talking about being delusional, and you have to have this delusion in whatever you want, right? Because like, yeah, I could tell you right here that I'm gonna be a billionaire. I'm not a billionaire right now. I have nothing to show that I'm gonna be a billionaire, right? but I have this delusion that that's where I'm going.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And people have to have that same delusion in whatever it is. You know, like you want to get this to 100 million subscribers.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You have to have that delusion to be able to like keep going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You gotta have the work ethic to match.
Oh, yeah.
Match that as well.
There's three things. There's the vision.
Mhm.
There's the belief, where I feel like that's the delusion part, where you
Yeah.
have to be a little bit delusional, and you have the work ethic.
Yeah.
You can't have one and not the others. You can't have two and not the last one. You have to have all three.
Yeah.
Or it's not going to work. You need to have the vision to be able to see where you're going, and you need to have the belief that you're going to get to where you're going. Because yeah, I can sit here and say, oh yeah, I believe it, but subconsciously, like this is where people have to really be in tune with themselves. Subconsciously, you don't think you can do it. You don't think you're going to be able to reach that. But if you have that inner belief, like, because I can sit here and talk shit all day, like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, but the little voice in my head is like, no, you're not. You don't even work hard. You know, like, but you don't believe it inside.
Yeah.
So you have to have that belief, that delusional belief of wherever you're going, wherever that vision shows you that you're going to go, that you're going to get there. And then you have to work extremely hard.
Yeah.
You can't be lazy. Like this last year, lazy as fuck.
Yeah.
Never going to do that again, because I've always been a hard worker. I'm not going to be lazy now that I can be.
Right.
You know, and that's like one thing that I was really hard on myself this past year. As well as I did, and as much money as I got, I wasn't proud of it, because I knew
You could have done better.
way better.
Yeah.
So the work ethic, like I could have made over 500 grand this year.
Yeah. How much are you gonna make this year?
Over
2025?
500.
Yeah.
I already have it written down.
Yeah.
It's coming. 100%.
I believe it, bro. So, what advice would you have for somebody that wants to get into sales? Where do they start?
Just do it.
Yeah.
Just jump in. Don't be scared.
So they try to go to a certain sector, or like.
I would say like a low level sales is always good, like selling cell phones. Not clothing stores, because they don't pay no commission. Anywhere that pays commission.
Yeah.
Like gym sales. Gym sales is really good because they make you cold call. They make you like go out and prospect, and they make you do a lot of stuff, and that'll teach you how to generate leads.
Yeah.
So that way, if you ever do decide to pursue it, you know that you already have that lead generation like background. You know, car sales is tough.
Yeah.
And what happens in car sales is you just get stuck in car sales, you know, and it takes a really good person to be able to do good in car sales without being a bad salesman. You know what I mean? Like furniture sales, those are a little bit like next level, but like a good entry level, something, because you got to think like a phone isn't a high ticket item.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a membership isn't a high ticket item. Anywhere that like you can sell something and get like $50 commission on or whatever for every sale you get, it's perfect.
Yeah.
To start out, because it'll teach you how to do the work. It'll teach you what it takes to like talk to people.
Yeah.
Because this generation do not know how to talk to people. And it's scary. Because you talk to an 18-year-old kid, it's only a few. I maybe ran into one or two that actually know how to hold a conversation. Most of them are scared. They don't know how to interact with people because they're used to just on their phone.
Yeah.
And that's the scary part. So I recommend like sales for everybody, because it teaches you how to communicate with different types of people. It teaches you a good work ethic. It teaches you like psychology. It teaches you a bunch. Like, bro, I could go anywhere and just take the knowledge that I've learned in these past years from sales.
Yeah.
And go make six figures anywhere.
Yeah.
I can start a business, because it takes sales to start a business. You need to know how to sell.
For sure.
You know, so people I recommend doing it, start at a low level, a low ticket, like a sales job that pays commission, so that you can see like, okay, if I work hard, I get more commission. And then just do it. Just jump in, all in. Read the sales books. YouTube is crazy, because you could get $1 million worth of education for free.
For sure.
You know, that's what I did a lot, just YouTube everything. The Wolf of Wall Street guy, Jordan Belfort, he has a whole sales school that has over 300, 400 episodes of teaching you how to sell. You know, I read his book, The Way of the Wolf, Crazy book.
Yeah.
You know,
I did Grant Cardone's sales school.
you did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, the Cardone University.
Cardone U, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so I couldn't afford that.
Yeah.
At the time when like I could now, but and I feel like if you do sales and you don't like it,
Yeah.
you don't have to stay in it. But if you like it, learn as much about it because it's an art form, it's a craft. Just like you with videography and the creativeness that you have, it's a craft that you get better at the more you do it. Just like in anything, like even if you want to be a barber, even if you want to, work at McDonald's, bro, like you can make 6 figures working at McDonald's nowadays.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in and out. It's just, it takes work ethic, belief, and vision.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like you got to be the hardest working person in the room, and you got to be humble enough to learn from anybody. Like there's been multiple people where I did not like. I'm still asking them questions.
Yeah.
Still trying to learn from them.
Yeah. You think they should do full commission or hourly plus commission?
Hourly plus commission.
Yeah.
Because full commission is scary to jump straight into.
Yeah.
Hourly is, even if you don't sell shit your first 2 months, you're still getting hourly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then once you start getting the hang of things, then that commission hits, it's just going to motivate you.
For sure. What advice do you have someone who's going through a sales slump?
Get ready because the rise is coming. You know, that's how sales goes. That's how life goes. It's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
You know, so whenever I was in a sales slump, it was like a second nature almost. You know, I'd be down or whatever. I'd be negative, but Ed Milet, you know Ed Milet? Bro, listen to his podcast. That'll put you on so much whole next level of mindset. But he has this thing where he talks about just one more.
Yeah.
Right? The power of one more. And when you're in that sales slump, that was going through my head. Just one more.
Yeah.
Just greet one more customer. Just stay one more hour. Just come back one more day. Or, you know, like just one more.
Yeah.
Like at Mathis Brothers, I was going through a slump, bro, and I was about to quit. Because I remember one day I'd waited like 4 hours for a customer and didn't even get one and left early that day or whatever.
Yeah.
I was about to quit, but I was just like, just go back one more day. And the next day I sold like 15,000 in furniture. You know, so the power of one more is powerful if you apply it.
Yeah.
Because when you're in that slump, one more. Anybody who's just in a life slump, just take one more day.
For sure.
Or, you know, just show up one more day. That's it. Just one more.
If you could go back and give advice to yourself at, say, 23, 24, what would it be?
I mean, honestly, like, knowing myself, I probably wouldn't even take advice.
Yeah.
But I would honestly give myself advice when I was 13, 14. And just tell them, like, look, this is what your future is going to be. But you could get there a lot faster if you cut this shit out.
Yeah.
Like, that's what gonna implement in my kids is like, go ahead, do that shit. But look how longer it's gonna take you to like get to where you want to go in life. If you cut that shit out and don't even start it, don't even pick it up, you're gonna be light years ahead of everyone else you're growing up with.
Yeah.
You know, so the substances, but honestly, like, I say that, but I don't even know if my life would be where it's at right now if I didn't go through that. You know, because Ed Milet talks about it a lot. He goes, you're most qualified to help the person you once were. You know, and that's my goal in life is I want to help the youth. I want to help the kids. And, you know, when I'm 40 years old, I want to travel the world and just help kids, bro. Like, because they're the future and they're the ones who are going to be the next, you know, geniuses, the next major artists, the next presidents, you know, whoever they want to be. And I want to be the advocate for the youth and help them, you know, like believe in themselves, because the people that help me believe in myself is Russ, the artist, and Gary Vee. Those are the two people that, like, Russ's music and just his interviews, I would watch his interviews and just his confidence and like the belief in himself and the work ethic, like I knew I could do that. So he gave me the belief and confidence. And Gary Vee, he helped me give myself a break and just realize that life is long and just keep working. And I want to be that for the kids too, because that's the most important thing.
Would you say that's like your biggest goal in life?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, just be like, I wouldn't say motivational speaker, just be a speaker though. Like, mainly to like the kids in high school, like juniors, seniors.
Yeah.
Creating foundations, like for kids like in Hemet, bro. There ain't shit to do in Hemet. Imagine if like we had like a big old like youth center for them to like go to and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to be doing drugs just to like pass the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just like stuff like that for the kids, bro.
For sure. That's pretty much all I got, man. You got anything else you want to leave them with?
Just appreciate it, man. And just at the end of the day, all you got is you in life. So keep working, believe in the vision, and don't stop.
For sure, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming through, sharing your story.
Yep.
That's a wrap.